What up, YouTube? So most of you know who Mitch McConnell is by now. He famously said, if you smoke pot, you're a bad person. See, I didn't know that Willie Nelson was a bad person. I didn't know that Bob Marley was a bad person. But when Mitch McConnell says stupid shit like that, you get the impression that he's tough on drugs. But check this out. 2 years before Mitch McConnell takes a cabinet position in Donald Trump's presidency. I'll get to that retard in a minute. 2 years before Mitch McConnell takes a cabinet position in Donald Trump's office, him, his wife, and his father-in-law were tied to a boat that his father-in-law's company owned, and the boat was used to ship coal and stuff like that overseas. But the boat in question was busted with a shit ton of cocaine. And do you think Mitch McConnell, his wife, or his father-in-law get in trouble for it? Of course not! Those motherfuckers are part of the elite 1%. Now, cocaine is significantly a lot worse for you than marijuana. Yes. But in small doses, when it's natural, it's a lot better for you than caffeine. I will say that. It was in Coca-Cola for the longest time. That was practically America's first energy drink right there. Okay. Now, Mitch McConnell, after saying, if you smoke pot, you're a bad person, I wanted to smack him. I wanted to reach through the fucking computer screen and just pop! But I'm pretty sure that would be assault on an elderly citizen, and that's probably illegal. Now, here's Donald Trump on his campaign. I think medical marijuana legalization is a bad idea, but I think I'm gonna leave it to the states to decide. Okay, so Donald Trump basically thinks that medical marijuana legalization is a bad idea, and he also said he was going to leave it to the states to decide. And right now, Donald Trump is cracking down on marijuana. What? Okay. Donald Trump also said, and I quote, from his campaign trail, I'm going to create a ton of new jobs. I'm going to fix the economy. It's going to be great. Okay. And yet, you're doing the one thing that would do both of those things simultaneously at the same time. By cracking down on marijuana, Mr. Trump, you're preventing progress from fixing this country, giving employment to the unemployed, giving medicine to the people who need it, and creating economic wealth for this country. Now, Donald Trump is more of a fucking retard than George Bush Jr. ever was. Holy shit. And on top of that, he's also a businessman who loves money. Oh, it's no secret, YouTube. Donald Trump loves money. Okay? Donald Trump loves money. So if you told Donald Trump that, hey, dipshit, Americans spent $53.3 billion last year on cannabis in states where it was legal. You can see the tiny gears in his head turning as he starts thinking to himself, 53.3 billion? That's a lot of fucking money. You know, and Donald Trump claims to be worth a couple billion, but he's only worth maybe a couple million at that. And it's like, dude, come on, are you serious? How much money is Donald Trump being paid by the drug companies, man, to crack down on marijuana like this? Because this is ridiculous. Why else would he do it, Lebowski? Money! all these corporations that would stand to lose some money if marijuana becomes legal, all of a sudden they're like, hey, if we bribe this Trump guy some money from our company, he'll crack down on pot for us, and we'll just sit back and watch it happen. And it doesn't help that Donald Trump has Mitch McConnell on his fucking cabinet. Like, seriously, when I saw the story, it was done. The story was done 2 years ago. I posted it on my Facebook page. I was like, wait a minute. Tough on drugs, Mitch McConnell gets busted with ties to cocaine on a ship that his father-in-law owned, that he and his wife had ties to? Oh, damn. Does he get in trouble for it? Fuck no. Some poor schmuck gets caught with a marijuana cigarette, he could get life in prison for that in some states. It's ridiculous. No, YouTube, no, seriously, YouTube, the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, rape charges are less severe in prison terms than marijuana possession for some states. It's ridiculous. Like right now in Wyoming, here in Wyoming, you can get less prison time for raping a woman. If you got caught with a marijuana cigarette, by golly, they would throw you away and lock you up and throw away the key. You know, the fact that in Wyoming alone is one of many states in this country. Wyoming is one of many states in this country that is still illegal on pot, and unfortunately, you know, you got a plant that has so much medical benefits and could make this country so much fucking money. Man, people are tired, they're broke, the economy sucks, people are losing their jobs, people have no jobs, and people are just sick and tired, and they want solutions, man. They want answers. And Donald Trump doesn't seem to have the answers or the solution right now. Like the first couple days in office, and he's more concerned about his stupid reality show than he is about the fucking safety of the country. Holy shit. And when Donald Trump got elected president, I said to myself, you know what? We'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I don't want him to fail as a president. I actually want him to do good as a president. You know, wanting Donald Trump to be a bad president is like wanting the pilot of the plane to crash the plane. You don't want that, you know. But with each and every passing day, he just continues to make himself look like a huge schmuck. Holy shit. Everything he does just makes him look like a huge fucking schmuck. Okay, reports coming out of the White House from Donald Trump's personal White House staff. The first 4 weeks of it, they were just tired, man. They're like, it's like babysitting a fucking child. His tiny fucking hands have been handed a huge responsibility. Okay? And being the president of the United States of America is a huge responsibility. If it would have been me as president, I can tell you what, YouTube, the first 2 things I would have done as president myself, if I was in office, I would have said, fuck it. The first 2 things we're going to do, we're going to fix the drinking water, okay? We're going to pull out our troops from Iraq and Afghanistan and Iran, and we're going to work on making peace with the Middle East, and you know what I'm saying, and letting them fight their own goddamn war, okay? Unless they ask for our help, then we step in. Want to fix the drinking water so no American goes without clean drinking water. And then we're going to legalize pot. Sound good? Cool. Okay. But here's the thing, YouTube. I'm not old enough to run for president, and I don't have the political background to do it. So, I'm just saying, if I was president of the United States, the first 2 things I would have done personally, if I was president, like I said, I would have fixed the drinking water. Fix the drinking water so it's clean for every American. And, oh yeah, fucking legalize pot. Fucking A, you know what I'm saying? I'm not shitting you. Don't believe me? go to Google right now, and if you Google, type into Google search, how much money did Americans spend on pot last year? Enter. I did this earlier today just to see because I was kind of curious because I support marijuana legalization. And as it turns out, Americans literally spent, like I said, $53.3 billion. I think if Trump had the chance to have that much money right now, he would grab at it in a heartbeat. Okay, I'm pretty sure of it, YouTube. If Donald Trump had the opportunity to have $53.3 billion in his back pocket right now, I'm pretty sure he'd take it in a heartbeat. But when you got shitty Mitch McConnell and the greedy drug companies and pharmaceutical companies, paying out Donald Trump to keep marijuana illegal, why else would a businessman like Trump crack down on marijuana? Because even he's smart enough to see that, okay, this marijuana business could have the potential to really fix things, create new jobs, get the Americans out of debt, fix the economy, you know what I'm saying? Like, people around the country are either broke, sick and tired of it all, looking for work, just lost their job, or have no job, and they want answers, or a combination of all six. And they want solutions, man. And, no, seriously, you can look it up on YouTube. Donald Trump, on his campaign, said, I'm going to create a shit ton of new jobs. He didn't say it like that, but he basically said, I'm going to create new jobs in this country. I'm going to fix the economy. It's going to be great. And the one thing he has that he can do to not only fix the economy, but create new jobs, like he said he was going to do, he's cracking down on it. No, seriously, marijuana would literally create so many jobs in this country, man. So many fucking jobs. And it would fix the economy. Oh, it would fix the economy. And people overall would be a lot better off if it was legal, because it would be less drama. Holy shit. And it's so goddamn frustrating, YouTube, when the United States government, members of the government, get caught with drugs, or when cops do drugs, but then they arrest everybody else for doing it and persecute everybody else for doing it. The very same government that tells us, oh, you can't smoke pot, that's illegal, that's a federal offense. Oh yeah, the United States government has their own personal supply of marijuana, and they give it away to universities who apply for medical research reasons, of course. And there are literally 4 people in this country right now that can legally smoke pot anywhere in the country and not get arrested for it, because their medical marijuana is given to them by the United States government, because their condition is that bad. And, I'm already wishing Obama was still president right now, man. Was he perfect? No. But Obama got handed George Bush Jr.'s fucking mess, and it was a big fucking mess. And he got the good majority of it cleaned up. And then if Donald Trump continues on the path he's down right now, he's going to undo everything. Now, a lot of Trump supporters, deep down inside, they're going, oh, this guy's a fucking retard, why do we support him? But at the same time, they don't want to admit it. I was helping my mom put groceries in her minivan today, and the sticker my mom has on her minivan says Republicans for Voldemort 2016, because, well, obviously that's funny, 1. And 2, everybody in my family is pretty much a Harry Potter fan, right? And I read the sticker out loud, and I said, why do you gotta insult Voldemort like that? You know, and me and my mom were just sitting there, well, we weren't really sitting there, but we were standing by the back of the van as we were putting groceries away, talking about what a retard Donald Trump is, you know, in the parking lot at Walmart. And this fat fuck redneck walks by, and he overheard me call Donald Trump a retard, and I said to my mom, I says, you know, we thought George Bush Jr. was retarded. Holy shit. We could have had Bernie Sanders, but no, we got stuck with a retard like Donald Trump. And this fucking fat redneck fuck that I have no idea who he is, don't know him, fucking gets all butthurt and defensive and butts into me and my mom's conversation. He looks at me and glares at my mom and he says, no, Bernie would have been the fucking retard, and walks off. And I shouted at him, I said, why don't you come over here so I can kick your ass, you fat fuck? Oh, that's right, walk away, you ain't shit, you ain't shit. I came this close to pulling my fucking knife out on him, but I'm like, you know, be the bigger man. Be the bigger man. He's a retarded Trump supporter. He can't help himself. And the reason why he got defensive is because he knows that Trump's an idiot, and he doesn't want to admit it. God. And, you know, fucking ridiculous, YouTube. Ugh. It's like, okay, if you overhear somebody discussing politics with somebody else, and if you personally don't know them, and you personally don't agree with what they're saying, mind your own fucking business and stay the fuck out of people's conversations. Like, what he did was just so fucking rude, and this was some fat fuck outside of YouTube, and it just fucking proves my point. You know, I get people who bully me on social media, and then I get people who personally attack me outside of social media. And it's... You know, this dude that was going off on me at the Walmart parking lot because I dared call Donald Trump a retard for calling it like I see it, I wouldn't have had to have used my knife to fuck him up. I could have just punched him and had his fat ass on the ground, fucking broke his nose a couple times, a couple different places. You know, if he just would have glared at us and kept on walking, I would have been like, what the fuck's that fat fuck's problem? You know? Well, this is some motherfucker here in town I don't even fucking know, just fucking walking by being a nosy prat. Like, really, dude? First of all, stay the fuck out of me and my stepmom's conversation. Second of all, mind your own fucking business. Third of all, if you don't agree with what me and my mom are saying, then don't listen to it. We don't even fucking know you. Like, holy shit, YouTube, you know? I got a little bit of groceries for my apartment, you know. I went and got me some brand new boots because the old ones I had that were just like these were full of holes and snow was getting on the inside of them. So it was a good day for me, you know. And then some fat fuck had to try to ruin it, you know. Fucking bullshit. And then if you saw my last video, it's the cute dog video I made for my YouTube channel. I was at my buddy Steve's hanging out for a bit, and on the way to Steve's apartment, I was about to cross a crosswalk, right? But I seen a van about to drive past, just about. So I stepped to the side to let that van pass. I was being polite, you know, and I look up from my phone, and the driver looks at me like this, like that, and I flipped him off. I'm like, what the fuck's your problem, dude? Like, seriously, I wasn't rude. When I saw the van was coming, I immediately walked back onto the fucking sidewalk. Like, seriously, between that asshole and the fucking asshole that was harassing me and my mom at fucking Walmart, Like, really, dude, what the fuck? You know? Like, I got to spend some quality time with my stepmom. You know, I got some new boots, got some food for my apartment. You know? And, you know, the last couple of weeks I've heard that Donald Trump is cracking down on marijuana. And it just pisses me off. Like, I'm sorry, but there are bigger and more important things to worry about in this country than somebody doing this. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. I know. Let's throw people in jail for a plant that cures cancer, that helps people with Asperger's, that helps people with cataracts, multiple sclerosis, glaucoma, diabetes, the pain of having HIV/AIDS. You know, let's take a plant that has so much medical benefit and throw people in jail for it. What the fuck? Okay? And on top of that, YouTube, the mere fact of the matter is, in some states, if you get caught with just one marijuana cigarette, that'll get you a heftier jail sentence than a rape charge. And Wyoming, unfortunately, Wyoming is one of those states. In Wyoming, a prison sentence for marijuana possession is more severe than a rape charge. So in Wyoming, you could rape a woman and get less prison time than pot possession. And it disgusts me to no end, YouTube. It makes me sick to my fucking stomach just to think about it. Like, this right here is, you know, like, do you see how angry I am? I'm trying to contain it, but god damn it, dude. This kid fucking rapes his chick behind a college dumpster and barely gets 6 months or less. And this war veteran gets caught growing pot for his PTSD and gets 15 to life? In Texas, this rich-ass kid robs a Walmart liquor store, goes drinking and driving, kills 4 people, and not only that, but he was underage at the time when he did it. And in the courtroom, the judges are asking the lawyers, they're talking back and forth, and the kid gets away with killing 4 people because his lawyers said, and I quote, "Your Honor, he has affluenza or some stupid shit like that. He doesn't know any better because of how rich his family is or some stupid shit." And he gets away with killing 4 people, underage drinking, and robbing a Walmart liquor store. Now, keep that in mind, because the very same town in Texas, they catch some poor schmuck, you know, grinding up some marijuana and making pot brownies and selling them, and he gets life in prison for it. Mitch McConnell's tough on drugs. You heard him. He's like, if you smoke pot, you're a bad person. You know, I didn't know that Bob Marley was a bad person. I didn't know that Willie Nelson was a bad person. I didn't know that Doug Benson was a bad person. I didn't know that Tommy Chong was a bad person. You know, but literally 2 years before Mitch McConnell took a position in Donald Trump's cabinet in his presidential candidacy and what have you, Mitch McConnell, his father-in-law, and his wife all had ties to a ship that Mitch McConnell's father-in-law owned for Mitch McConnell's freaking father-in-law's company. And his father-in-law's company basically takes these boats and they ship like coal and stuff across the seas. One of the boats that Mitch McConnell, Mitch McConnell's wife, and then Mitch McConnell's wife's father, all 3 of them had ties to that boat. And that boat in question got caught with a shit ton of cocaine on it. Oops. Okay, Mr. Mitch McConnell, tough on drugs. Now, even though Mitch McConnell and his wife and his father-in-law had ties to that boat that had all the cocaine on it, Did they get arrested for it? Nope. And on top of that, Mitch McConnell's father-in-law has donated money numerous times to Mitch McConnell's campaign and personal fortune. And it's just disgusting how corrupt our government is, man. The very same government that tells us, oh, you can't smoke it, it's a federal offense, will gladly smoke it behind our backs and just laugh. You know? When the fucking United States government tells us that we cannot smoke pot, it's a federal offense, they're basically blowing smoke up our asses with their own goddamn joint, like, you can't smoke pot, it's illegal. That's exactly what they're doing, YouTube. They're blowing smoke up our asses. And technically speaking, if you are doing a medical research of any kind for a university, you can apply to get weed from the government to study. On top of that, there are 4 people in this country who can legally smoke pot anywhere, no matter what, because the government provides them their medical marijuana. Yeah. Now, if the United States government provides medical marijuana to 4 people, giving them total access to smoke it anywhere in the country, despite any laws, and the United States government also provides universities who fill out the proper paperwork with marijuana to study, then guess what, YouTube? That means the United States government has their own personal supply of pot, doesn't it? Yes, it does. That's like somebody sitting there saying, you shouldn't eat cheeseburgers. They're unhealthy for you, while they stuff their face with cheeseburgers. Like, usually, shouldn't eat too many cheeseburgers at once. It's bad for your health. That's exactly what it is. And I think Donald Trump, he's stupid, but he's also a businessman. If Donald Trump literally found out that Americans spent $53.3 billion on pot last year alone, that would get the wheels in his head turning just a little bit. You might see smoke come out of his ears, and he'd be like, oh, maybe we should look into this legalization thing. I mean, you know, $53.3 billion, that's a lot of fucking money. Now, YouTube, if I was president of the United States, the first 2 things I would have done upon entering office was, first thing, fix the drinking water. It's 2017. There is no reason why Americans should not have clean drinking water, especially when we have the technology to make it happen. If this were the 1700s and our founding fathers were around, okay, I can understand that getting access to clean drinking water isn't going to be easy. Quite often our founding fathers would drink beer and wine because they couldn't get a hold of clean drinking water while they were smoking tobacco and marijuana. Now, either one day, and this is probably how it happened, either the founding fathers might have saw one of the slaves smoking it on the plantation, or maybe their hemp field caught on fire during a lightning storm, and then when the rain put the fire out, some of the marijuana might have caught fire, and they're like, wait a second, that byproduct, when it catches fire and the smoke gets into my lungs, wait a second, or they might have been, when they were smoking out of the pipes they would make out of stone and stuff, freaking, maybe they might have accidentally gotten some marijuana in with their tobacco when they were growing it. Because quite often, back in the day, our founding fathers would grow hemp right next to their tobacco fields. And maybe, just maybe, they might have accidentally gotten a little bit of that marijuana harvested with their tobacco, and maybe they put it in their pipe and they didn't realize it was in there, and just, you know, they started smoking, and all of a sudden they're like, fuck, this is some good tobacco. Wait a second. Something had to have happened, okay? Because I guarantee you our founding fathers smoked pot. Our very first president, George Washington, would smoke pot for his toothaches, for fuck's sake. Yeah, that guy. George Washington. Yeah. Ben Franklin. Oh, don't even get me started. Benjamin Franklin did a shit ton of drugs. Ben Franklin was high on opium when he tied the key to that kite and discovered electricity. Didn't know that, did ya? And quite often people will sit there and say, if you do drugs, it'll amount to nothing. And sometimes that's not necessarily the case. You know, drugs aren't necessarily a bad thing most of the time. Sometimes drugs can be used to expand your mind's horizon. A lot of geniuses like Albert Einstein and Ben Franklin were doing drugs. But they don't tell you that in school when you're a kid learning about them. So when you get to high school, they can sit there and tell you, see kids, drugs are bad, you shouldn't do them. You know what I'm saying? This photo booth really glitching out on me. Come on, photo booth, focus. There we go. And the reason why the school system doesn't tell you that Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Edison and Albert Einstein all did drugs, the reason why they don't tell you this shit is because so when you get to high school, they can tell you, kids, just say no. You want to hear a joke, YouTube? The DARE program. I want to hunt that lion and mount it on my fucking wall. Stuff it and mount it. Hold on a second. I'm going to dispose of this can. I'll be right back. Donald Trump, during his campaign trail, talked about creating new jobs, expanding the economy, and all that, and fixing the debt, you know, and all this shit, you know. And if you want to fix this country's debt, create jobs, and make this country filthy stinking rich, then you know what you need to do, America. You need to legalize pot. If I could just snap my fingers and have marijuana legal all over the world and free, clean drinking water for everybody all over the world just by doing that right there. Oh, I'd do it in a heartbeat, YouTube, without any question. Just boop, done. Everyone on the planet gets clean drinking water and free weed. Awesome. But unfortunately, YouTube, I do have powers, yes, but my powers are not that great. Now check this out, YouTube. I had a bag of tobacco and I got a hole in the bottom of the bag. So I put all my tobacco in this other bag right here. What I could save from when I spilt it, and this bag right here, when I was opening it earlier today, literally on the side of it tore. And there has to be some Trump supporters who are looking at Donald Trump right now and going, this guy's a fucking idiot. Why do we support him? Deep down inside, they're thinking it, but they don't want to admit it, you know? And it's just ridiculous, YouTube. I got this resealable bag that came from a dispensary, but it's being used for, as you can see, if you can see, oh, you really can't see in there, can you? Okay, I use it for tobacco because my tobacco bag broke. Yeah, there you go, you can see it. Alright. And then literally when I went to go open the bag earlier, it tore a little bit. So now I have it tied in a knot like that to reseal it. Gotta be careful with this bag. I don't want it to tear anymore. But yeah, YouTube, Donald Trump's a businessman. You know, he loves money. That's no mystery. Everybody can see it. Donald Trump loves money. He's all about that money. All about that money. He's all about that money. And if Donald Trump were to find out that Americans spent $53.3 billion on cannabis last year, even he would be going, maybe I shouldn't be cracking down on it. Maybe I should be legalizing it. But when you have Mitch McConnell in your cabinet and you have greedy drug companies paying your back pockets, that's like Scooby-Doo and Shaggy doing anything for a Scooby snack, so to speak. That's a horrible comparison, but you get what I'm saying. A drug company comes up to Donald Trump and says, what if we paid you X amount to crack down on pot? You think Trump's not going to turn that down? You're stupid if you think he wouldn't turn down that kind of money. All to keep Americans sick. So now when I do it like that tear is still going to be right there. So in order to fix that, I'll literally take it, loop it around like that, and pull that through like that. And what that does is that seals up the tear and prevents it from spilling. Okay, look YouTube, here's the thing, okay. I was at Walmart earlier, and this fat redneck got offended when I called Donald Trump a retard. And the way he did it was just completely rude and unnecessary. I was helping my mom put groceries in the back of her van, and my mom's got a bumper sticker on her window that's a sticker on her window or on her bumper that's, my stepmom's got a sticker on the bumper of her van, and it says Republicans for Voldemort 2016. And I've seen the sticker a million times. It's funny, But I made the offhand comment. I'm like, why would you insult Voldemort like that? That was basically a rip on Donald Trump. And then I got to talking with my mom. I said, man, you think George Bush Jr. is retarded? Holy shit, Donald Trump is so much worse. And then, right as this fat redneck was passing by, I saw him look at the bumper sticker, and then he looked at us, and then I didn't see him out of the corner of my eye, but then he overheard me say this, man, we would have been so much better off if Bernie Sanders would have become president, but no, we get stuck with a retard like Donald Trump. And this fat fucking redneck walking by me, whatever, he's like, no, Bernie Sanders is the retard, or would have been the retard, or some shit like that. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Stay the fuck out of me and my stepmom's conversation, dude. If you don't like what we have to say, then ignore it and walk the fuck away. 1, you don't know us. 2, it's not your conversation to just butt into. And 3, if you don't like what we have to say, then fucking ignore it. Holy shit. I can't stand people like that. And, the reason why he was so pissed off today is because he knows I was right. He knows I was right, YouTube. He knows. Deep down inside, he knows that Donald Trump's a fucking idiot. And that Mitch McConnell's a piece of work. Let me tell you. Yeah, Mitch McConnell, Mr. Tough on Drugs, got tied to some cocaine 2 years ago before being elected to Donald Trump's cabinet. And does he get in trouble for it? Nope. Now, the thing you have to remember, YouTube, is not everybody in the 1% is a snobby asshole that uses their money to abuse power and all that shit, There are a couple of 1%ers that are really nice people, Bill Gates, for instance, donates money all the fucking time. Mark Zuckerberg is also one of those people. So just because someone's rich doesn't mean they're automatically going to be an asshole. You know what I'm saying? That's something you have to realize. And let me tell you something, YouTube. Money does not buy class. Yeah, Donald Trump, you may have a lot of fucking money, but when you're talking about grabbing women by the pussy and shit like that, and then you say things like, oh, I'd fuck her if she wasn't my own daughter, that's not class. That's just, no, dude, no. Oh, I have to put a tic tac in because, they just in case they start kissing me, they can't help themselves, because I'm a celebrity, Okay, YouTube, Donald Trump's tiny hands have been handed a big responsibility. And believe me, being the President of the United States of America is a huge responsibility. And, if somebody's never been president before, it's understandable that they're going to be new at the job, and, it's going to take them some time to, get the hang of things, but Donald Trump's just a complete fucking idiot. The first couple of days in office, Donald Trump was literally more concerned about his reality show, The Apprentice, and having exclusive rights to it, and, a cut of the show's profit. Wait a second. Donald Trump talks about how much he's worth all the time. He's like, oh, I'm worth billions, blah, 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 blah. Okay, if you were really worth billions, dude, then why the fuck would you care about a small cut of the profits from The Apprentice? Exactly. And when greedy drug companies and Mitch McConnell are all paying Donald Trump to crack down on marijuana, basically, it slows the movement down, unfortunately. And, what can I say? If I could talk to Donald Trump right now, I'd like, Mr. Trump, first of all, I want to congratulate you on winning the presidential election. Second of all, you're a businessman. You like money. I can see that. What would you do if you had $53.3 billion in your pocket right now? Donald Trump would probably say, you know what, I'd be pretty happy if I had that kind of money. I guarantee you, YouTube, that if President Donald Trump had $53.3 billion right now, he wouldn't be complaining at all. He'd be bragging about it. He'd be like, oh, look how much money I have. And yet, the schmuck literally is going to crack down on the very thing that can make him that kind of money. Him and the country he's supposed to help govern. Holy shit. All I gotta say is, do you miss Obama yet? I didn't always agree with everything Obama did, but I had a lot of respect for him because, being the first black president, a lot of people would be like, he's only half black. It's beside the point. YouTube. He got a lot of crap in the media for being the first black president. Literally. And they didn't directly say that. They would come up with some bullshit excuse. Fox News basically would come up with some bullshit excuse to blame Obama for something. It's stupid, I didn't agree with the flavored cigarette ban that they did. But right before Obama left office, he made the trade embargo with Cuba legal again. So basically, Cuban cigars are no longer illegal in the United States. That's cool, Obamacare itself is not a bad thing. But whenever you try to create something new like that, is it going to be perfect right away? The answer is no. That's why you have people who plan it and work with it and tweak it until it's perfect, or at least decent enough to where everybody's at least somewhat happy with it. But at the same time, when fucking healthcare rates are going through the roof, people are paying an arm and a fucking leg for healthcare. And the thing you have to ask yourself, YouTube, is, look at Canada right now. Canada has an amazing healthcare system. And wouldn't it be cool if the United States of America had a healthcare system like Canada does? I think that would be pretty fucking sweet. I don't think too many Americans would complain about that. They'd be like, yeah, shit, affordable health care, why not? You know? And a lot of people in the government will want to sit there and say, well, we really can't afford to fix the pipes with the contaminated drinking water and what have you. But the government can afford to spend billions of dollars on unnecessary wars. Yeah, that makes total sense, doesn't it? The United States government will sit there and say, "Well, we don't have enough money to really fix the drinking water, blah 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 blah, but we'll gladly waste millions of dollars upon billions of dollars on unnecessary wars." Yeah, that makes total sense, doesn't it? Well, it's like I said, YouTube, if I was president, first two things I would do in office, I'd fix the drinking water and I'd legalize pot. Oh, yeah. Thing of it is, though, YouTube, I'm not old enough to run and I don't have a political background. So, And this fat retard that jumped into me and my stepmom's conversation earlier, like, I wanted to knock this motherfucker out. Like, dude, well, knock some fucking manners into your fat ass. How about that? Fucking cold clock you on the fucking face until you fall on the ground. And then you're struggling to get back up and fucking kick you with my steel toes in the kidneys so you're gasping for fucking air. But I'm like, no. And I continued to talk shit to him as soon as he walked away. You know, I called him out on his bullshit, and he refused to acknowledge it, like a little bitch, you know. It's whatever, dude. I'm just saying, you know, people, if you overhear someone talking politics, and you're not part of the conversation, stay the fuck out of it. Especially if you don't agree with the people who are talking the politics. If you don't agree with those person or person's views of opinions or whatever, then especially stay the fuck out of it. Especially if you're a stranger and those people don't even know you. Holy shit. I can't even believe I'm having this fucking conversation right now. And when Donald Trump first became president, I says to myself, we need to have a calm and level-headed mind. We can't jump the gun and just start freaking the fuck out, because that's only going to make things worse. Let's try to remain calm and see how this plays out. And then we got to here. That was when he became president. Now we're here. And it's like, Donald Trump, you call yourself a businessman, and yet you're denying the opportunity for this country to make some serious money. You're no fucking businessman. You're a corporate sellout. The fucking Oxycontin company comes over and says, "Hey, Mr. President Trump, we'll pay you a shit ton of money if you keep cracking down on pot." Trump says, "Okay, I'll take your money. Sure, why not? Fuck it. I don't care. I'm Donald Trump." Like, I know Donald Trump's stupid, but come on. If Donald Trump found out that Americans spent $53.3 billion on pot last year, even he would go, wait a second. I smell a business opportunity to create new jobs and fix the economy like I said I was going to do when I was in the primary elections. And you want the truth of it, YouTube? Hillary Clinton might not have been the best qualified female for president, but at the same time, you know, a lot of the things they were saying about her weren't even true. You know, a lot of it was just fear-mongering propaganda to smear her campaign as much as possible. And a lot of it was just spread by the fucking radical right. The right-wing media just couldn't handle the fact that a female might actually become president, that women might actually have a fair chance, you know, and equal rights and all that. They couldn't handle it. The radical right couldn't. So they did everything in their power to smear Hillary Clinton's campaign, you know. And on top of that, it worked, you know. Did Hillary Clinton and the DMC cheat Bernie Sanders out of the midterms? Oh, yes, they did. Because I guarantee you, if it would have been Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders would have wiped the floor with his smug orange face and became president. Yeah. Guarantee it. Now, as I said in my last video, you're going to see some fresh cooking videos on my channel. A couple new burger recipes here and there. Some of them you might have already seen. But I'm also going to do a deep fried chicken recipe for my channel sometime this week. An ice cream bread video is definitely in the making sometime this week. So I'll be posting a lot of cooking videos to my channel in the next week or so. Yeah. Looking back on it, I wish I would have kept a couple of my videos on YouTube before deleting them all. But when technology was pissing me off, you know, I wanted to do something drastic because I was pissed. I can't just punch shit. That's how shit gets broken. So I deleted all my old videos. You know, but the thing of it is, I know that there's a couple of fans out there who save all my videos and upload them to their channel. So, I'm not worried about it, you know. This will give me a chance to create fresh, brand new content for my channel. But right now, as it sits, there are a lot of states like Wyoming where pot is highly illegal. And in these states where pot is highly illegal, you could literally get caught with one marijuana cigarette and get thrown away in jail for 15 years. You know, the simple fact of the matter is, in states like Wyoming where pot is illegal, a rape charge is less severe in prison term than a simple pot possession. And it just makes me sick to my stomach, YouTube. I can't stand the thought of it. Knowing that in states like Wyoming, you could rape a woman and get less prison time than if you were caught with some marijuana. It just makes me sick to my fucking stomach. Oh, I know. Let's throw somebody in jail for a plant that has a shit ton of medical benefits. A shit ton of medical benefits. And can make our country filthy, stinking rich. Yeah, that makes total sense, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. And you know what, YouTube? The government just needs to butt out of pot completely. Because there are more important issues to be worried about in this country than some people smoking a little bit of reefer here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, there are bigger fucking issues here. You know? And the fact that they're so concerned about cracking down on something that can be used to treat cancer, you know? Like, no, seriously, marijuana can cure 7 out of 10 people with cancer, whereas chemotherapy kills 7 out of 10 people. Yeah, something to think about. Marijuana can also be used to treat Parkinson's disease. There was a viral story on Facebook where this retired cop had Parkinson's disease, and he struggled with it for years and years and years. And some of the medications he tried made it worse. And some of the medications he did try would kind of help, but really wouldn't do it, you know? And then one day this ex-cop was like, fuck it, I'll try the weed, you know? And all of a sudden, Boom. It was like instant, instant. So what to look forward for on my channel in this next coming week? Burger recipes, ice cream bread video, deep fried chicken video. Yeah, buddy. There's a lot of awesome things that are going to be happening on my channel. I'm only putting a bunch of brand new cooking videos up on there. And I think the fans will like that. I do. Anyways, this is King Cobra JFS with another video. A little political rant. Thank you for watching. Catch y'all later.